Hello once more to another installment of Hunting Pokemon, this time in the Hoenn region. Here's a quick reminder of the rules and the tiers, but if you want a more in-depth explanation, please check the description or the other videos. With no time to waste, let's start with the starters. The one that I think would give the most trouble is Trico, and even then, I don't think it would take more than one kid. With their middle stages, no kid alone would defeat any of them. But Marshtomp would get left behind, since the other two, I don't think any number of kids would be able to stop them. Fighting a Rooster is no joke, and Groovile is just him. However, they would reunite as their final forms, since all of them definitely would need multiple hunters to stop them. Poochyena might just be a less dangerous Houndour, however, they are still very intimidating for a kid alone. And Mightyena is just a tad bit better, so it will go to the tier above. Zigzagoon is the definition of the first tier, and Linoone may be fast, but running in a straight line is no way of getting rid of the group of kids that will end you. So Whirlpool, Silcoon, Beautyfly, and Cascoon are all going to kids' first hunt, being pretty obvious why. While Dustox is going to the Coalition, because of its better typing and defenses overall. Lotad is also going to the one kid territory. With its stubby legs, it cannot protect itself very well. For Lombre, the kid will need one or two friends. And Ludicolo, even if it pains me to say it, it will stay within the same tier, since I can see the kids luring one of them into a dance party only to be ambushed by the rest. The C-Dot line will almost be the same. C-Dot is on the first, probably just as easy as Lotad. Nuzleaf on the next one, just a little bit more difficult than Lombre, but Shift 3 won't fall for as easy of an ambush as Ludicolo. So for this one, let's leave it to an expert. Taillow and Wingull are going to kids first hunt, even if they flee from time to time, while Swallow and Pelipper are a group effort. Routes, together with Kirlia, are going directly to one hunter. Considering their keen senses, running away from kids should be no problem. Gardevoir is going to be a tad harder, since just like its pre-evolutions it can sense emotions, and it's also stated to see the future, while also having the power to fight back. For all of that, I believe Gardevoir should be on the modern day hunter. Surskit and Masquerain can't do much, besides scare the kid away. But no matter how scary you are, if you are falling down to the first rock a kid throws at you, they are bound to lose their fear. Shroomish might be a little trouble if a kid isn't paying attention to its spores. Nonetheless, the kid should have the advantage. Breloom is no joke. Even someone with more experience might have a trouble with one. So bring your friends if you want to go mushroom hunting. Slackoff won't even notice the kid until it's too late. Both Vigoroth and Slaking are going to the one hunter. They both are way too much for the kids, but an expert should be able to exploit even the mighty Slaking. Nincada and Shedinja are going to the first tier. Ninjask is the only one where I can make a case to put him in the next one, because look at how fast this little fella can go. They probably will run away most of the time. Wishmer only defense is being kinda loud, but if you have been around kids, you will know they are also very loud. So one kid should be enough. Loudred would be a bigger problem, and I don't think numbers will solve it, but experience. While Exploud, it's difficult. If you don't finish the job in one hit, doesn't matter how many friends you bring, you are all getting blasted with sounds strong enough to put you down. And I don't think anyone with experience would put themselves in this kinda danger so willy-nilly. So I am deciding to say that this one will need modern guns. Makuhita is not losing to any kid, but won't be passing an adult either. Only a fool would face Hariyama alone. I believe it should be possible with a larger group, so it will stay there for the time being, but things can change. Azurill with the other baby Pokemons it goes, and why not? Albeit sturdy, Nosepass is very easy to caught off guard, since it's almost always pointing north, so I believe a kid can break through its defenses. Skitty is going down just like Meowth. Hey, quick question, do you know how many games you can capture a Delcatty? Not evolve it from a Skitty, no, capture it. That's right, 1. Only on white 2 on a shaking spot, and it's like a 5% encounter. I am sure it can evade how many kids it wants to, so experience will be needed just to search them. Sableye is a little bit tricky. While we can definitely be defeated by a small group of kids, the fact that this little gremlin lives lurking in dark caves makes me think most of the kids would be deathly afraid of it. So I am putting him on the one hunter because of that. While Mawile isn't nearly as scary, it is a little bit stronger. But I still believe the kids can take it. Aaron is going to the same tier, since I don't see Kid alone even making a dent on it. 3 or 4 might be able to do something. I was debating on putting Lighton on one very good hunter, but the more I think about it, the more I don't see just one person being able to completely stop and defeat a Lighton. Some help will be needed. And Agron can jump straight to multiple armed hunters. It is the armor Pokemon after all. Meditite is smart and strong. It ain't losing to a gang of kids. To the hunter it goes. And Magichan, you might need a friend or two. Electrike can shock the kids enough to run away from them. However, there is not much the Electric Canine can do against an adult. Manectric is not doing much better either, although much more powerful and faster. If a good hunter is prepared for one, it is for the other. Plusly and Minun are baby play, followed soon after by Volbeat and Illumise. Roselia might be able to win from time to time, but honestly, I still give it to the kids. Gulping is just a barely walking stomach. Shouldn't be too difficult for a kid to either make a trap or just straight up attack it. But Swalot would eat any number of kids attacking it, so I will call a responsible parent. Carvanha would bite out the fingers of any number of kids, but stops at one fisherman. Sharpedo might need a bigger boat, and a crew. Speaking of bigger boats, Whalmer stays here as well. And now, calling the mother of all boats because it is Wailord. This one is going to be an armed fisher crew because nothing says whaling more than harpoons. Numel is a bit oblivious, so a kid could take advantage of that. Camerupt is too big and too dangerous for the younglings, and even going alone may not be the brightest idea. So let's up it up to a small group of hunters. Torkoal is more passive, and living near coal sets up a prime opportunity for a good hunter to put up traps. Takes one kid to hold a spoink down. Rumpig won't be able to hypnotize a group of kids. Spinda is an easy practice for any kid, and Trapinch would take at least 2 kids. This way they can avoid the chompers. On worst case scenarios, one kid loses a limb and the other defeats it. Vibrava is much like Yama, but instead of rocks, the kids need to throw ice cubes at it. Flygon would be too much for them, but the little bro of the Pseudos doesn't need much more than one good hunter. I can see Cacnea hurting a kid enough for it to escape, and surprise attacks on the desert might be too difficult for a kid to do, so I have decided that at least one distraction will be needed. Cacturn would need a professional, but one alone is enough. Swablu is just a fluffy little bird, one kid can defeat it. Altaria can shrug off that one kid, but a gang would put it down easily. Zengus are battle veterans, no way they are losing to a kid, but a good hunter will know to attack it right after they duke it out with Seviper. Same reason, same tier. I will give Lunatone and Solrock the benefit of the doubt and say that it will take at least 2 kids to bring them down. Barboach and Corfish can be fished by one kid, but Wishcash and Crowdowns, that's back to the adults. Baltoy is just a toy, so it's going to one kid as well, but it's way more fun if you and your friend hunt them together. Then you can play Beyblade later, that is, if a Claydol isn't around, because that thing is too much for the kids, and even an adult alone might have some difficulties. Is it even possible to catch one off guard? The fossils will get the same treatment as the Kanto one, even if they look like a kid can defeat it. Since the chances of finding them are so low, it's better to leave some fossil hunter expert or something. With that being said, Cradilly and Armaldo could definitely cause some trouble for the hunter, so I'm bumping them one tier as well. Phoebus may be hard to find, but with persistence, any kid can defeat it. Milotic is big and bulky, so even a good fisher might need a friend or two. What's up with Hoenn and Pokemon that are a pain to find in the wild? Because cash farm is found only by the following methods. Gift in the original games and remakes. Trophy Garden daily encounter in Diamond, Pearl and Platinum. 5% encounter in Shaking Spots in Black 2, White 2. SOS alternate encounters in the Alola games. So yeah, the little Nimbus will be higher than it deserves. Kecleon might be able to fool the less attentive kids, but the zigzag would make it lose to most of them. Shuppet is about the same, since it's not nearly as scary as Sableye. A kid can take care of it. As for Banette, at a +1 or 2. Dusko follows with... Actually leave this one for the adults. With Dusclops in the very same tier, even if it's more bulky of a prey, I don't see the need for another hunter. Unlike for Tropius, that has the size to withstand an attack and means to fly away, so a small team would be the way to go. Chimecho may be loud, but then again, the kids are louder. Absol probably can escape from a group of kids, but its run ends when someone who knows what they are doing shows up. Snowrunt is already a very cold kid, and I think our kids have more confidence. As for Glalie, the kids just need to group up and beat it up. Spheal clubbing is just another name for golfing in the Hoenn region, so the spherical seal is safe, just for the fact that most kids dislike golf. But it's still going to that tier. Celio will need a larger group of kids, while Walren is a group of hunters. Clamperl might require someone who can hold its breath or use a scuba, but should be no problem after that. And its evolutions together with Relicanth are going to the Fisher. And Lovedisk goes back into being kids' play. Bagon could send any number of kids away, but it and Shelgon can't do much against one prepared adult. Salamence is where the tide changes, since this one is just a better Dragonite in every way, so it's joining the others on the army tier. Beldum may not have the best set of offenses, but defensively it's too much for the children, so one more to the adults. But Metang has learned how to fight back. This middle stage is jumping straight to multiple hunters with firearms, and I can see a good excuse to give it army tier. Of course, this means Metagross will go there, and I don't think many would disagree. Now for the Regis. Rock and Ice, I'm sorry to say that, but I can see a good armed hunter defeating you two, even with their incredible defense. While Steel might be a little more unconventional due to its typing, it still seems like an easier prey than Steelix, so I'll put it gently down on multiple hunters. The Lati Twins are going to the army tier, since they can escape most of the hunters with their speed. And it's pretty obvious where the next three are going. These are most likely the most dangerous Pokémons we had until now. Only the Navy, the Army, and the Air Force will have the means to fight back. As for the two Mythicals, Jirachi might be in a coma for most of the time, but its deck says that it should be able to fight back while asleep. Except it doesn't really do that. I will give it partial credit though. I can't believe that sleeping because it wants to and sleeping because of an attack feels different. Think about how a Pokémon using rest will always sleep for a set amount of turns, while if they were hit by a Spore for example, they have a chance to wake up each turn. This way, I believe Jirachi will need at least a group of armed hunters, both to find it and then defeat it. And finally the Oxys. Besides being able to adapt to a lot of situations, there's one thing above all that makes me think that we will need the feds. That's pretty far, huh? Hope to see you in Sinnoh!